It's because the mainstream media and the left want you to think that the world is a very scary place. The world is a scary place. You need our help. People need to put up signs. You're in danger, and you need the government because the government's going to save everything for you. Something doesn't add up. It is a great day to be an American. Why? Because of patriots like you. Patriots like you that go away from the mainstream media to seek out the truth, to seek out logic and reason and facts in amongst feelings and the rhetoric. So thank you for joining us here on the Freedom Hub. Today we are going to be taking a deeper look into PC culture. Now, PC culture, cancel culture, they're very much tied together. So cancel culture would be just getting rid of things that you don't like because it doesn't really fit your narrative. And PC culture is just basically correcting people and saying, well, that's not PC. You have to be PC about it. You can't say that anymore. It's not PC. So this is a topic that we tackled in our second episode, which we filmed this past December. Now, during that time, we made it our Christmas episode because saying Merry Christmas was actually, it's still deemed as non-PC because it offends non-Christians. Just going out and assuming that everybody is a Christian, that's just not very PC at all. So I truly don't believe that saying Merry Christmas is marginalizing a bunch of people. And, they're saying, oh, well, just, say Happy Holidays. And, but that's just not what it is, though. And people are just taking the religious meaning versus the celebrating the spirit of the season. And, well, you could just celebrate the spirit of the season by saying Happy Holidays. Well, but, it's Christmas, and it's all I've ever known, and it's part of my culture, and Christmas is a good thing. It's a time of giving. It's wonderful. I wish every day could be like Christmas. How many people have said that? I don't look and say, oh, that's my Jewish friend, just like I don't say, oh, that's my black friend. Oh, that's my Asian friend. That's my Hispanic friend. No, they're just friends. But if I specifically go up to one of my Jewish friends and I say, hey man, happy Hanukkah. It's just, I don't want them to think that that's all I see them as, They're a lot more to me than that. So I'll say Merry Christmas to them because that's what I'm celebrating, and that is what a very large percentage of the world is celebrating. And it is the Christmas season. So who is in control of this? So it is the social justice warriors, formerly known as the PC police. These are terms that you have undoubtedly heard within the last 20 years or so. It really kind of started around the Obama administration, and it's just kind of snowballed from there. It's one of those don't give them an inch or they'll take a mile kind of things where they saw that it worked on one thing. And so they started applying it to everything that didn't fit their narrative. They started saying that not being PC was causing microaggressions. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. These microaggressions are just getting out of control. Another thing that they were saying was that we were triggering people. So one of the best examples of triggering that I can remember back to was the 2016 election. There was a college campus, and probably the college Republicans or somebody went around with sidewalk chalk on the campus quad and they wrote Trump 2016 with the sidewalk chalk. And after discovering this, the administration at the college, the deans and everything, they got together and sent out campus-wide communication saying anybody who is requiring therapy, anybody who needs counseling due to the hateful words on the sidewalk, it'll be provided by the campus free of charge. These are words. But words can hurt. Words can hurt so much. They really can, especially when they're words that have to do with a political candidate that you don't agree with. He hadn't even done anything yet. He hadn't. He hadn't passed one policy. But triggered. Another thing that the social justice warriors are all about is creating a safe space. A safe space. This is defined as a place free of bias, conflict, criticism, or potentially threatening actions, ideas, or conversations. Of course, unless you're conservative. So, yeah, you can bias against that. But everything else, nope. Free of conflict, criticism, or potentially threatening actions. Or potentially threatening ideas. Potentially threatening conversations. We don't have these here. This is a safe space. So signs started being posted in front of businesses. And most of them had to be, just advertising that they're a safe place for LGBTQAI plus peoples. I don't get it. I really don't get it. It might be my own ignorance. I don't know. Call me out on it in comments if you want. But seriously, I don't understand this because it started out, everybody was doing this. Everybody put a sign out in front of their business saying, oh, we're a safe space. We are a certified safe space. Who's in charge of certifying a place as a safe space? Who? Who does that? It's the PC police? So, and then this all just kind of turned into people just demanding that this safe space be provided for them, suing their companies, saying, I need a room. I have anxiety, and I need a room where I can just be, and I can just cleanse, breathe in, breathe out, all the hate, all the stresses of the world. And I could be free of all anxiety. And businesses did it. They did. They provided a room where they could unwind, where they could be safe from any sort of conflict or microaggressions or triggering. They could. And good for them. You put up a sign, okay, saying that you're a safe space. You're a safe space for these people who feel this way. That's what you are. But what about the business across the street? They didn't put up a sign. So they're evil. They're going against the grain. There's something wrong with them. They're not on board. They're a bunch of hate mongers. They're a bunch of white supremacists, homophobe, racist. Oh my gosh. The worst. Because they didn't put up a sign. I've met a lot of people. In my 37 years on this planet, I've met a lot of people. The fewest demographic of people that I've ever met or ever come across are people who are intolerant of people's race, sex, gender identity, ethnic background, religious preference. Those are the fewest amount of people that I've ever even come across in almost 40 years. So, why does everybody have to go out and put up a sign saying, hey, guess what? I'm tolerant. If the majority of the population is, it's because the mainstream media and the left want you to think that the world is a very scary place. The world is a scary place. You need our help. People need to put up signs. You're in danger, and you need the government because the government's going to save everything for you. Something doesn't add up. So what happens when they win? Well, like you saw in our cancel culture episode, somebody's career could just completely be gone. I don't think Roseanne is going to be able to do anything anytime soon. J.K. Rowling's books are being burnt. So these people are intolerant against Nazis, but yet they go out and they burn books. Do you see the hypocrisy here? Do you see it? Speaking about books, Dr. Seuss wrote over 60 books, 60 publications. And somebody recently found in 2 of his books some somewhat racially stereotypical drawings. So no more Dr. Seuss. We're going to pull Dr. Seuss books off the shelves. We don't need this kind of racial intolerance in our schools. This is the kind of racial intolerance that is being taught to our children. These are children's books, and we're teaching them how to be racist right off the bat. That's what we're doing. It's in the Dr. Seuss book. Green eggs and ham and racism. Do you know how stupid you sound? Do you know? Horton hears a trigger word. You could keep going. You could really keep going. Oh, boy. So one of the biggest dangers about this all is that the left gets to pick and choose what they want to be, what they want to have be acceptable and what's not acceptable. That's the big thing. They get to choose, and they get to filter it and say this is okay and this is not okay. They don't rely on popular opinion anymore. They don't even talk to people about how they feel. They just make that decision. The social justice warriors, maybe the internet, maybe it's Reddit. I don't know. But somebody starts a Twitter hashtag and the whole world goes to hell. It really does. So let's take the example of last week's Grammy Awards. So during the Grammy Awards, you had Bill Burr. Bill Burr came out and he announced the nominees and the winners for, I think it was the Latin artists. And he poked fun at himself, saying that he was the whitest guy on the whole program, and they put him in charge of naming off these people. And he poked fun at himself that he had a hard time pronouncing the names. He apologized for butchering them, and he's like, I just don't know. I'm sorry. And they said that's racially insensitive. What the hell, Bill Burr? You need to be more tolerant. Don't make an issue out of the fact that they're Latin. Don't do that. That's awful. Awful. And so they're looking to cancel Bill Burr. Boycott him. racist, intolerant guy. He's not racist and intolerant. He's just from Boston. In the same program, you had Cardi B simulating lesbian sex on a giant bed, singing her song about the female genitalia. Simulating lesbian sex on a giant bed on the stage, singing about female genitalia. And they called that brave. They called her brave for doing that. That's empowering women. That is empowering women? Are you kidding me? I can't keep up with this anymore. I can't. And that is why, one of the reasons why I know that I'm a conservative is because I deal with logic and facts, mainly logic. And the logic doesn't make sense to where Cardi B is empowering to women, but a white guy mispronouncing Latino names, that's racist, and that's terrible, and we need to stop that. And Dr. Seuss books are horrible. And Coca-Cola, on top of everything, goes out and has all their employees do this course on how to be less white. Because being white means being oppressive, insulting, condescending. Who gets to choose this? Because the logic doesn't line up at all. Last year, we had the first year of the Washington football team, formerly known as the Washington Redskins. All my life, they've been the Washington Redskins, and a lot longer than that, actually. The football team was originally founded as the Boston Braves football team in 1932. And they moved to Washington, D.C. in 1937. And that is right around when they got the name the Redskins. That's when they changed the name. So it's come up before that Redskins is not politically correct. And so the team and the owners reached out to the Native American communities and they said, hey, are you offended by the name? Are you? Because we don't really mean it as that. You know, we don't mean it as anything offensive. I'm sorry. And over 90% of them said, no, not at all. We're good. And it came up again in 2016. Now, 2016, you've had a lot happen. They conducted another poll. It is the dawn of the era of Donald Trump. Leftists are losing their minds. So what do? They attack the Washington Redskins once again, and they say, you need to change your name. You're offending and marginalizing a people. And so the team reaches out to the heads of the Native American tribes in the country, and they run a poll, and they say, are you offended? I'm so sorry. And they say, no, we're fine. Over 90%. Once again. No, we're good. In the wake of the George Floyd riots, they just caved in. They're like, fine, we're going to choose a new name. We haven't chosen it yet, so we're going to be the Washington football team. Also, this past December, the Cleveland Indians baseball team announced that they will be changing their name. But for now, you can just call them Cleveland baseball team. I can see Redskins. Sure. They called me the Whiteskins. Whatever floats your boat. Sure. But Indians. So the term Indians can be brought back to Christopher Columbus, somebody else who is not very PC friendly and has a statue pulled down probably once a year. Enough to the point where if Columbus Day makes the news at all, the liberals and the leftists will go out and they will tear down that statue. And then by October 13th, they're just like, yeah, what's the next one? Because I completely forgot what we did yesterday. Indians were not named as such by Columbus because he thought he was in India. There was a big rumor about that saying, oh, he was sailing. Yes, he was finding a Western trade route to India. He was an Italian explorer hired by the Queen of Spain, Queen Isabella, to find that trade route. And then he hit the island of Hispaniola. He knew where he was. So he knew that he was nowhere near India. So he named them so because he was so charmed by the people that he found in the Caribbean, who were very sweet and happy and blessed people, that he called them Los Gentes Andios, which translates to the people of God. Los Gentes Andios. And Dios turned into Indios, and it stuck, so it was changed to Indians. Los Gentes Indios. That's where it comes from. It was a compliment. These people are so peaceful and happy and loving. God must love them so much. These are the people of God, truly. He saw a light in them that had all but been extinguished from his society. Those people in the Caribbean were the people of God. Los Gentes Indios. They were the Indians. They were a proud, happy people. You know who's not offended by the term Indians? Native Americans. Native Americans are not offended. Maybe some of them are. Maybe a very, very few of them are. But not enough to cause a ruckus at all. There's a lot of organizations that they founded that use the term Indians. Refer to their land as Indian land. Typically, the people who you say you're marginalizing and offending are not feeling marginalized or offended by whatever it is. They're not. They're fine. So, I ended the episode by saying, say Merry Christmas, be proud of who you are. Don't ever apologize and do not try to conform to what they want you to conform to. Be who you are. And let their white guilt be their problem. If you're proud enough to say Merry Christmas to somebody and not make an issue out of it. If I say Merry Christmas to a Jewish person once again and they're just like, oh, I'm actually Jewish, I'll be like, oh, well, happy Hanukkah, man. 'Tis the season. It should be over. Let their white guilt be theirs. That white guilt coming down on you to conform to what they deem as acceptable and unacceptable should be met with the same kind of resolve. The same kind of determination used by social justice warriors to turn their opinions and feelings into policies. You be you. Don't conform. I'd like to go ahead and thank all of our first responders, law enforcement, veterans, and active military out there. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.